We're in Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia, where we found a place called Macedonia. An all-volunteer staff is literally taking Ethiopia's most needy off the streets and giving them sanctuary here. Stay with us as we hear the incredible, heartwarming stories of the lives they've touched. Mekedonia is a rare facility in Ethiopian society. It's a home for the elderly and mentally disabled in the capital city of Addis Ababa. It was started by Binyam Baleta 2 years ago. Since childhood, Binyam had a desire to help others. He's also a very humble man and prefers not to talk about his work. Instead, I interviewed his brother Yared, who works with Binyam at Mekedonia. The center is housed in Binyam and Yared's childhood home. Together with a staff of all volunteers, the Baleta brothers are working to enable elderly people and those with disabilities to lead better lives by providing for their basic needs. In Ethiopian society, what is life like for the poor who are elderly?
In culture, the trend is that when a family has children, those children will be educated, they graduate and just have their work, and then they assist their families back. That's the culture, the Ethiopian culture, the long-lasting culture. But these days, this culture is changing little by little. Because children these days, after getting married, they don't remember their families. They don't want to help because they struggle with life for themselves. They cannot help. And on top of that, there are no organizations or government institutions that are in place to help the elderly people in Ethiopia. So all this summed up together have been difficult for the elderly people.
What are the living conditions of the residents before they come to the center?
Most of these people are people who are even unable to assist themselves, unable to eat, unable to shower, unable to care for themselves. So you may give someone money, but money doesn't do anything alone. So you need to just share your love. You need to hug them. You need to just, give yourself to them.
What kind of assistance does the center offer to the elderly?
This center provides these basic provisions like we say clothing, food, shelter, and medication.
The center not only helps the elderly, but also those who are challenged mentally, correct?
Yes, that's right. This center helps the elderly and the mentally challenged and also physically disabled people.
How many people are you assisting here at the center?
Assist 150 people altogether. So as we have said, some are elderly, the others are mentally challenged, and some have problems with physical difficulties. So out of 150, 85 are elderly people, and the rest are mentally challenged and physically disabled. You won't even imagine that these people would walk again, will behave human. So after they come to this center, when they get food, they get well. Others, when they get medication, they get well. So we have seen a lot of improvements. So what I learned from this is that people can change if they get the proper assistance.
In a moment, we'll hear the stories of several Mekedonia residents. "85-year-old Dessa was born and raised in Addis Ababa and is the father of 5 children. He's unable to see his family because they live far from Addis in a rural part of the country. He found work as a builder until he became sick and was forced into a life on the streets." What brought you to the center?
Prior to coming to this place, I used to work as a mason, building houses. So I have worked on that profession for 18 years. And then I got sick. I had no one to take care of me, so I went out to the street. So I lived in a plastic house for a long time. It was there that Binyam came to meet me. There are lots of progress since I came here. And I want to say God bless Binyam, who is a good Samaritan. and who has enabled me to be in this place. After coming to this center, I'm able to eat 4 times at least a day. 4 times a day. And I sleep on good bed, good mattress. I've been given 2 blankets and I have bed sheets that I would never dream to have. And I take showers every day. We eat good food, as I've said. And I get medical treatment as well. So a lot of progress since I came here.
Has the way you look at life changed now that you're here?
በጣም ተቀይሯል።
Yes, my life has changed a lot. I can say after coming here, I'm like a newborn baby due to the very reasons and the very provisions I just mentioned. So I see life now in a different perspective.
One of the most intriguing stories we heard was from Hannah, a woman whose legs have been paralyzed for many years. As a student, she left Ethiopia to attend school in Paris. While working for the Ethiopian embassy, she met a wealthy German businessman whom she married. After 27 years of moving around, they returned to Ethiopia and lived a very comfortable life until his death. Alone to fend for herself, she was tricked into signing all of her money away to her chauffeur and was left penniless. Sick and unsure of what to do, she turned to a local church that cared for her until Binyam came to bring her to Mekedonia. Did you ever lose hope during those dark days?
No, absolutely not. Not a single time. There was a moment I was saying, what's the use of living? What am I going to do? Because I didn't have anything. And what am I going to do? I'm getting old by the day, older and older. Where am I going to live? With what am I going to live? There were days like that. And then in the morning, I was feeling better. I was saying, well, God is with me. He'll give me something. Something will happen. And I had hope in God.
What types of help did they give you here at the center?
Here is, well, just believe in God, nothing else. It's I have everything. You have your house, you have a bed, food plenty. We have plenty of food. Whatever food you ask, if you can, we give you. They said. They asked me when I get well, they give me some work to do here with them, so I can live here. And my hope is somehow I get back part of my money. I don't know how. It's very difficult, but God will give back, and I will open something and work for myself. I want to work for myself, and of course I will do something for this place. I will help.
What would you like to say to the people that have helped you out so much?
God helps them. May God give them whatever they wish. God will use them. What can I say? I can't give them anything. I have nothing except my well-wishing. I really wish them good health, everything.
After immigrating to the United States, Awal developed a drug addiction that enslaved him. After being arrested, he concluded the only way to cure his addiction was to return home. Awal started work as a tour guide in Addis and was turning his life around when he suffered an accident that paralyzed one side of his body. Alone and living on the streets, he came close to losing all hope.
Nobody was helping me. I was sleeping. I ended up on the street. No place to stay. Nobody to talk. I was this close to commit suicide. Loneliness was killing me. God.
But then they brought you here and you're doing much better, right?
So they brought me here, So now I am having a hope that I will be back on track. If I go for medical treatment at the Black Lion, I am sure I will be up. I can help myself and help others.
So it's a good place to be right now.
For me, it is.
And you hope to get well enough so that you can leave and get a job?
Sure.
And you have hope now?
Yeah.
Yeah? So your days are happier?
It's getting better.
What would you like to say to the people who helped you?
I will thank them, and I want them to see me back on track. And then I want to say to them, Awol is born again. Awol is born again. And I'm sure they will be happy to see me walking on my feet.
When we return, we'll hear from one of Mekedonia's volunteers about what motivates him to spend his time with Ethiopia's Shen segment of society. The Mekedonia Home for the Elderly and Mentally Disabled is run solely by a staff of volunteers. Some come from local churches, others come after hearing about the good the center is doing. But they all have one thing in common. They don't expect anything in return for helping Mekedonia's residents.
We have 35 volunteers. That these voluntarily working people are not paid. That's the proposal, that's what the government knows. But now Biniam is thinking of revising that because most of the volunteers, they don't have enough work even for them to survive. So he's thinking of writing another proposal where they will be paid.
So the fact that you're taking care of the daily needs of 150 people with all volunteers really says something about Ethiopian society, doesn't it?
This says a lot about Ethiopians. Ethiopians, even these volunteers, even if they don't have enough, even for themselves, they have the desire to help others. So once they accept the problem and they understand that this is where they belong, then they are sacrificial. They give from what they have. Even if they don't have finances, they give their time, they give their talents, and they give themselves. So this is what we learn. So Ethiopians are interdependent people.
Terafai is one of Mekedonia's many volunteers. When not working as a part-time journalist, he spends time facilitating bookkeeping at the center, communicating with the government, and sharing his time with the residents. Growing up, he was involved in church activities, and his faith is very important to him. He's living out that faith every day at Mekedonia.
Meeting elder people by itself, it's an asset for me personally, because I try to pass some wonderful time with these elder people, sharing their experiences through life. Some of them have a wonderful and extraordinary of life in very ways, in education, livelihood, marriage life, and family actually. So some of them, accidentally they lost all these things in life. So they ended up in the street, in the churchyards, in different places. So these people were collected from these places. So they came here, actually, they ended up here. So sharing their experiences to them with me is very important.
What does the center provide for the people that live here?
The very important, crucial thing for the people who are, the center assisting here is to share love, actually. The other thing is secondary, because there is a very, my favorite, saying of the well-known, the late Mother Teresa. She said the very important thing, it's not what you do actually, but the amount of love that you put on doing that. The very important thing is, to share love, very genuine love for these people. Because these people are, on the street for quite a long time. Nobody, shared their love, their sincerity, their concern for them. So personally, and some of my friends as well here, we want to share our love.
76-year-old Momo was born the son of a farmer in rural Ethiopia. At 22 years old, he was recruited as a construction worker and spent his life moving from town to town as a machine operator. But 18 years ago, he contracted an illness that left one hand paralyzed and Momo living on the streets.
The only option I was left with was just to go to straight and start straight life. As I was lying in the street, Biniam, the founder of this center, found me, and then he asked me if I was willing to just come to this place. And I just expressed my willingness. If I get help and if I get food to eat, then there is no reason I won't just come to that place. Now I get medication for my sickness, and I get food, and I get a place, a shelter. So I'm having a good life here.
During those dark days, did you lose hope?
Yes, there are times when I lost hope, especially at times when I didn't find something to eat and no enough clothes. So those are times when I lost hope, but I had a hope that one day God will come to my rescue. I had that hope, and that happened as Biniam came, approached me, and just brought me to the center.
When Binyam came and found you on the street, what did you think?
When Biniam got me at the street, I thought he was just looking at me just like other pedestrians do. But he came closer to me and started to talk to me. And the fact that he started to talk to me was like a dream to me. I didn't think that that would be a reality. And the fact that he brought me to this center has made my dream come true. Being at this center has been helpful, and this center has changed my life. And I have got the basic needs that I needed, like shelter, clothing, and food. And above all, the fact that I got medication has helped me.
Coming up, we'll hear words of thanks to Binyam and the center's volunteers from Mekedonia residents. Mekedonia has been serving the elderly and disabled for less than 2 years, but in that time they've grown to house and care for 150 residents. By providing basic necessities, love, and socialization, they are improving each person's quality of life. The changes they see on a daily basis continue to uplift and astound the staff.
A person who is about to die get well. This is a change. A sick person whom you think has no hope is able to walk and get well is a change. And those people who are unable to go to the toilet on their own, but after coming to the center are able to go. This is change. And there are people who have mental problems, and through time after staying here, they get well. So these are the changes that we observe at the center.
Does anybody get well enough to leave the center?
I know one person who came to the center, and after getting all the assistances, he got well in all aspects of life. And then he went to live and he joined the community, and he was a tailor, and he just started to work as a tailor to normal life, back to normal life. He got medications, he got well, and he reunited with his family. So these are the changes that we saw.
Has volunteering here brought you joy?
Of course.
In
yes.
what ways?
In the first place, I'm believing that I am trying to fulfill the commandment of Jesus, because we have to visit poor, needy people who are outcasted, marginalized by the society. So for me, when I visit people here, when I volunteer here, I believe that I am trying to perform my faith in practice. So I'm trying to fulfill the commandment of Jesus.
What would you like to say to the people who have helped you so much?
I want to wish the best for those people who are assisting me, and I don't want them to pass through those difficulties like I passed through, and I just want God to help them, to be with them, as they have helped me and they have been with me. So I want to thank them so much. I cannot say enough about the people here. I have no enough words to thank them. They washed us when we were not clean. They gave us food when we were hungry. They gave us clothes when we haven't closings. So I cannot say enough about them. All I want to say is God bless them. When we first began to work in this center, we started it not because we are Ethiopians, but because we are human beings. So this work is for all human beings. Our American brothers and sisters are also human beings. Even they are in a position with a better capacity to help. So we would like to just call them to unite with us and help these people because of what the Lord has given them.
In spite of the poverty and struggles in Ethiopia, the people here understand the value and sanctity of human life. The volunteers of Mekedonia are ministering to the most shunned in society, and they're doing it with a great deal of love. They certainly are a fine example for us Americans to follow. Thanks for watching. This week I'd like to offer you one of these wooden baskets or carved wooden bracelets straight from the Ethiopian markets. They can serve as a reminder of the poor conditions for the elderly and disabled in Ethiopia, and the beauty of those with Macedonia who love and provide for their country's people. Visit our website at facinglife.tv to enter to have your name selected. If so, we'll be sending one of these beautiful free gifts to your home. While at the website, find out how you can order a copy of today's episode on Blu-ray or regular DVD to share with others.